going to put this out to the listeners just for the hell of it. We've been arguing the whole show. That'd be Duane Martin and John Cryer from Getting Personal Monday on Fox 8:30. We're singing the... That's smooth, huh? Singing the Good Times theme in here, and we have the whole thing down. John, for a Jewish guy, really has the theme down. Yeah. But there's one part where we all stumble, and thank God we're not all nuts, by the way. Yeah. I mean, we all screwed up on this one particular part of the song, and upon further or closer inspection, we realize it's not an actual word.
That we can discern.
And if there's somebody, and Engineer Mike said he looked up the lyrics at a place, and there's a blank. So somebody must have transcribed it and been just as confused as we are. And I think the only thing is we'd have to actually find one of the singers, the woman who sang the word in question.
Illustrious lyric.
But if anyone knows,
let's hear it so people know what we're talking about.
Rewind it just a little bit, Engineer Mike, if you can.
Because it's just looking out of the window.
All right, but don't.
I'm giving them a little background.
I'm just saying, let's not plant anything.
Okay.
So everyone just close their eyes. Right. Go ahead, All right, now there was hanging in a jawline, or I think it's hanging in a jivin'. John thinks it's hanging in a chow line, and Drew thinks it's hanging out your pants. All right, Engineer Mike, can you just rewind it just another 20 seconds before that? Jammin'? Hanging in a jammin'.
No,
hanging in a jammin'.
That makes no sense.
But listen to the.
I don't know.
Listen to the context of the lyrics prior. Layoffs. Rip-offs.
Scratching and surviving.
See?
I am now convinced.
Hanging in a jar line.
I'm now convinced it's hanging in a jivin'.
Thank you.
You have brought me around.
And I'm totally convinced it was what you originally said.
Okay.
Here's what.
Good times. Scratching and surviving.
All right, here's my take on this. The word she says means nothing, but I think she means to say jiving.
No.
She begins to say jiving and then fades out. She goes, hanging in a jivin'.
No. All right. Let us move on.
Yes. You grew up in the choir, didn't you?
People with problems who don't.
All right, if anyone has the answer to this, they can phone us in and tell us. Meanwhile, John and Duane are collapsing, so we're gonna. And before we let you guys leave, the last call that you'll hear tonight.
Oh, here we go.
Unless, of course, you tune us in on the ride home, which I suggest, because you never know when we're going to talk a little smack. You never know.
I've been on this show before.
That's right. Dan, who's 23, claims he knows the word in the song, although I claim this is impossible because you could not...
Unless he knows one of the singers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's possible.
All right. Dan?
Yeah, hi there.
What's going on?
Hi. I really enjoy the show. I think I'm a little nervous. I think you guys are great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you guys address a lot of questions that otherwise probably wouldn't be asked or
this good times question.
Yeah, these are very important issues.
Yeah.
There you go, solving one problem at a time. I think it's enjoying good times.
Oh, it's a think thing? You don't know for sure?
Well, actually, in the 70s, I did sing in Chicago for a while.
But what do you think the lyric is?
Hanging and enjoying good times. Oh, hanging and enjoying good times.
Scratching and surviving. Good times.
Almost.
I'm going back to hanging in a chow line now. I've come full circle.
Enjoying good time, yeah.
Well, but other than you used to sing in Chicago. Well, hell, I used to sing in Chicago. I'm walking down the street.
Black, too.
Well, it was a different time.
All right, Dan.
I have one question.
What? That's not bad. And it one more time, because it sounded like the beginning of enjoying, but then it faded out at the end.
Let me for a sec.
My money's on enjoying.
Well, live in your happy little land of illusion.
I have a question, if I could, real quick.
Real quick.
Just out of curiosity, what was Dr. Drew's undergraduate degree?
I went to Amherst College, and it was a BS in biology.
Okay, great. Thanks, I really enjoyed the show.
They have a BS?
Or BA, excuse me. It was a Bachelor of Arts.
Okay.
BA.
Great.
Yeah, the Amherst didn't give a BS.
Hey, look,
but it was
I don't want to
amazing.
see you on hard copy and you've been exposed. You're not a real doctor.
We'd be
Because
deeply,
I'm
deeply-
taking your advice right here. I'm writing all this shit down.
All right, Mike, get that S word out of there.
Off the satellite feed.
Attica-
It's late.
Some of the stuff that you guys say, you can't say.
I know.
No, you can say vagina. You can't say.
Okay.
You can't say S in vagina. All right, wait a minute. Lindsay says she has the definitive answer here. Lindsay,
Yeah?
you're 14.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know about good times?
I don't know. But from listening to rap in 7th grade, I think I know what it is.
All right.
Hanging in a job line.
In a job line.
Hanging in a job line.
There's no B. There's no B in there.
Yeah, there's no B. Hanging in a jawline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
All right,
just
we
not
got to
happening.
track that chick down and
Yeah.
find out what the hell happened.
Wow.
What was she
Hanging
screaming
in a
about?
You're going to
jawline.
get at least 5 of
jawline.
these a night now.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. All right, John, Duane, Getting Personal, everybody. Monday night, coming up, premiering this April 6th, 8:30. Snugly in between Molly McBeal, Molly McButter. What the hell is that show?
Ally McBeal.
I don't watch those chicks. stuff.
Wedged securely and
There was a
warmly.
show called Molly Mc... something about 10 years ago. What?
Yeah, there was
Molly
wasn't it
Mc,
with
red
Blair
haired,
Brown,
right?
But Molly,
The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd.
Molly Dodd, yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Which
Molly
has nothing to do with
McButter.
Ally McBeal, but that's
All right, and Damon.
yes.
All right, this is a hit. Please don't forget about us. Come back and visit us. Thank you very much for coming in. We do appreciate it, and we'll be back. All right, we've shifted our theme tonight. We really got to get on to something a little more important than these kids with their damn venereal diseases, Drew, and I think we found our calling, which is getting to the bottom of the good times theme. John Cryer and Duane Martin have left the building. They got up at 6 this morning and did one of those
have to
radio
do it again
junkets,
tomorrow morning,
and they're
too.
doing it again. Oh,
Can you imagine that?
that is painful.
Yeah.
I did that last week and
Yes.
wanted to kill myself. So I know what it's like, and we understand the pain of that morning thing. So we thank them for coming in and wish them well. All right, well, let's get to the business at hand here. Line 3, Matt.
Hey, how you guys doing?
You're 27.
Yeah. Now,
Matt, hold on a second. Engineer Mike, do you think you could play the song, maybe not in its entirety, but just about a minute of the song just to give people, understand the context, just so people can know what song we're talking about? For those of you who aren't old enough to remember, this was a show with J.J. Jackson. I mean, J.J. Walker. Dynamite was called. John Amos, Esther Roll. This was mid-late 70s. I think more of a mid-70s. Successful sitcom. And here is the theme song from it. Go ahead, David.
Not getting hustled, keeping your head above water, making a way when you can.
A temporary layoff.
Good times, easy credit ripples. Good times,
Scratching and surviving.
good times, hanging in a jar. Good
All right,
times,
now. Ain't we lucky we got a...
good times.
And Engineer Mike brought up a good point, a spin-off on Maude. Florida, which
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah.
Esther Roll. And by the way, who names... she was as big. She was a little smaller in Florida, but not much. Not much smaller in the state. Was Maude's cleaning woman.
Right.
Just like the Jeffersons spun off of All in the Family. All right, quiet down, Drew.
and Archie Bunker's place.
Right. All right. So, Matt, what do you know about... We're trying to get to the bottom of a temporary... Sizing and surviving, good time, hanging in a jar line. What is that line?
Well, my dad was on the show when I was a kid, and I got to go to the set.
He was.
Yeah, you remember when JJ went into jail? you remember
That was every second episode, wasn't it?
No, well, he went into jail.
Right.
And they put him into the small room with this big, black, bald-headed thug.
And that was your
That
dad?
was my dad.
Hey, did your dad do a lot of big, black, bald-headed thug work?
Oh, a ton of it.
Yeah, he didn't do any spindly Jewish guy work?
No.
A lot of big black...
A lot of pimps and thugs and big black guy, mean-looking number
You know,
two.
there's like 5 bikers and thugs who work in all of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
There's that one white guy with the beard and the real stringy, straight hair who's fat and who's in every Clint Eastwood Any Which Way You Can movie, and he's in every episode of Vegas, and every time they need a biker, this dude shows up.
He was in Mask, remember?
Yeah, because they had a biker.
Yeah,
There's some sort of Hollywood contract that says when we make a biker movie, we must use this guy. This guy is probably affiliated with over 700 biker gangs. He has a beard, he's fat, and he has that real stringy hair that he always combs back.
Right.
And Drew, do you have any idea who I'm talking about?
Absolutely not.
I served
That's what I love about Drew. No matter how detailed the description, he has no idea.
No, I guess not.
He does that breath commercial, too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's on the subway with the little old lady next
He's
to him.
been admiring his breath since 42nd Street.
This guy, there's
All right.
the...
Well, let's
okay.
hear what the...
All right. I'm
So your
sorry.
dad was on the show, and what'd you learn?
It's hanging in a jar at Good Times. Hanging in a jar. They're in the projects.
Jar.
Hanging in a jar. 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 Like they can't get out of it. It's hanging in a jar at Good Times.
Really? Because I think he says jar. But jar, and maybe this is some sort of a 70s Ebonics quiz or something, but I don't know what a jar is. I mean,
A
just
jar.
like
Think about it. They're in the projects, right?
Yeah.
They can't get out.
Right.
Right? So it's like living in a little glass
Like you
jar.
can't capture a bug and put it in a
let's
jar.
hear it.
Yeah, play it again.
Scratching and surviving.
Good time, hanging in a jar. Good time.
I can
Now,
hear it.
because there's
That's
something
possible.
hanging in a jar in Good Times. At Good...
All right.
all right, we got to hear that again, Mike. Let's see.
Scratching and surviving.
Good time, hanging in a jar. Good time.
I can hear it.
It sounds like she says jar line.
Yeah, Jarlat.
Jarlat. Yeah, and here's the deal, too. Matt, be serious for a second. If someone is sitting around and writing lyrics,
Uh-huh.
and you look at the lyric sheet and you see hanging in a jar at Good Times, you'd go, there's a typo here. What does that mean? And then you'd explain it, and then someone would come in with job line or jiving at that point. It just doesn't make that much sense. I agree that it sounds pretty close to it.
But you can't say that lyrics always make sense.
No, that's true. But on the
mean-
other hand, just because your dad was in an episode doesn't mean he's privy to anything that we're not.
Right.
All right. Say hi to your dad for us.
Will do.
All right. Hanging in a jar. Oh, boy. Hanging in a jar at.